some twerking music. Remember that dance move? That new dance move? Twerk, 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 twerk. Happy Sunday! I'm here with Miss Adeline. I'm Reno, and this is episode 4 of Spiritual Sundays with Styled by Spirituality TV. That is a tongue twister, always, always. Blah. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the media.
The media.
And I guess what we want to address is, you've heard us talk a lot about consciousness. Well, you and I and she, we need to be more conscious of what we are watching, what we are reading, and what we are listening to. So I guess to dive right in, what initiated this conversation, and I'm about to throw this out there, don't make fun of me, or make fun of me if you want to. I love The Real Housewives. I'm talking all of them. Atlanta, personal favorite, and Beverly Hills is another good one. But if you've seen it, y'all know it's nonsense. It is nonsense. Drama over, a bunch of nothing. And it's become this pop culture craze. This, this Real Housewives phenomenon. And, I mean, it's great. It's entertaining. But can you handle it is the question. Can you handle what you're watching? Are you aware of what's going on? How are you taking that in, and how are you processing that? So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. And I know that you probably have some examples of media that you've viewed, and I know you have a lot to say because we have had these conversations before.
Lots of times. Well, mostly, it's not even just housewives or anything on television. It's things that you're seeing on your Facebook that people are posting on Instagram, on Twitter, everything, just social media, anything to do with media, period. So there's a lot of issues I have with the media. One example could be, is there are women out there going and getting surgery so that they can post pictures on Instagram and Facebook, which I find really, really interesting.
This is a real thing.
This is a real thing.
Oh
so I there's a lot of apps now that you can alter your pictures now, and you practically don't even need to put makeup on
those
now.
Silly, what do they call filters?
Filters. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. And I mean, those are great. I use them all the time. I love taking selfies. But again, to go to the extent of going and calling up a surgeon and saying, I want my nose fixed because you want to post a picture on Facebook.
That's crazy.
What is that?
It's crazy.
What is that? And that's why it's important to be conscious when you're looking at things and being aware of your reaction and how you're taking things in when you're viewing these things. A lot of people will post pictures of themselves going on trips. I know I do, but it's not to show people. Well, it is to show people. Yeah, I'm at a certain place.
Yeah.
But I'm the type of person who likes to see pictures of when people go to different places.
Totally.
So
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why I go and do those things. But it's also been a way of people basically, being able to level out their happiness.
Yeah.
And we've had this discussion earlier about how people are using Facebook, social media, even television. This what could be the housewives are doing, basically to justify how happy they are in life.
And you look at shows like The Housewives and some of these other shows, and I feel like even Keeping Up with the Kardashians, these are all beautiful women, but what has defined beauty, I feel like is it's skewed. The way media has defined beauty is very skewed.
And not only now do women have to worry about how thin they are. They also are expected to be perfect. we're now expected to look a certain way. And I mean, I love getting dressed up. I love putting on makeup. I love doing my hair. I love doing all that stuff. But to go to the extent of getting surgery is beyond me. And that's why it's important for people to be conscious and be aware of what they're viewing. And remember that a lot of these celebrities, a lot of these people that you adore, admire, are exactly like you and are human just like you.
And so before, I guess, because there are other areas that we want to address, not, strictly appearance, but I feel like before we kind of take a turn here, to the men out there, I feel like, the women aren't the only ones who, experience this type of sort of insecurity and this type of influence on the way they have to look. Like, I know that I felt certain pressures to look a certain way, to be a certain weight, or... See, I love my body. I do not have a six-pack. I don't have a six-pack, and I'm okay with that.
You're not the only one.
Right, exactly. And so, and I'm fine with that. Like, I love my body. I honestly do. But... for someone who isn't as conscious and who isn't as aware of, the ideals that are set forth within popular culture and within society, I feel like they're going to run into these issues where they're constantly stressing because they feel like they need to obtain this, like, these washboard abs and these, like, pecs to die for and crazy arms. And I think what's beautiful is more so confidence, that security in your own skin. Forget, the six-pack and the muscles. And but I mean,
I think natural beauty is so much more distinctive than seeing somebody with, and we've had this conversation before,
absolutely.
with big hair, with curls and all that stuff. I feel like every woman tries to go for that look, you know? So to see someone with a unique look and embracing embracing their characteristics, their body.
And I feel like those are the people who are aware of what they're viewing, what they're reading, what magazines they're picking up and looking at, and they kind of just, dance to their own beat, which I think is so respectable. And then, so the other day I picked up a paper and I was I'm flipping through the pages and I'm looking at all the headlines. And it was just negativity. And I'm thinking, like,
what a day to start! What a way to start your day!
Yeah,
hey?
You're on the bus or sitting down at the table reading your paper in the morning,
and it's all
negative. And like, so you enter the world, you start your day with like this fear or this like negative energy based on everything you're reading. And again, I looked at it and I made a conscious because I was aware of what I was looking at, I made a conscious decision to flip to the back, check out my horoscope quickly, close that shit, and, find my language, and put it aside. I was like, I'm not reading this, So I opened up my How to Win Friends and Influence People book, and I started reading that. So I was like, I'm not reading this. And
good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
And I mean...
That's a way of being conscious, and that's a way of being aware, is stopping yourself and saying, wait a minute, what am I reading? What am I reading? Because our Facebook feeds could be full of negative things. You go on your Facebook, it's full of negative things.
You know those people, right?
Yes.
They're out there.
And you open a newspaper, there's negativity. You open a magazine, there's some sort of negativity. And that's, again, part of the media. And part of being aware and a part of being conscious. And
then there's music too, because I feel like, it's great, I kind of want to touch on all these different mediums, but like, music is another one. Music is so influential. I feel like it changes people, it brings people together, and it has a lot of power, and power that we don't always give it credit for. And if you think about what's mainstream, there's some great tunes out there. I love Katy Perry's Roar song for the message that it puts out there. I think she's a great artist, and she sends a great positive message to her following. But you listen to some of this other music, and they talk about Pop and Molly, and not being able to trust women. And there's another word, but I am not going to say this word because I don't like it. But anyway, and it's just like, what are you putting out there? What are you putting out there, and what are you teaching people.
Exactly. And what are you telling people is important? You know, and there's especially teens, they're so impressionable.
They are, yeah.
Children are so impressionable.
Yeah.
And
even adults too, but
exactly.
yeah, they are. You're right though about the first two. But even adults, we forget that this stuff does influence us.
Yes,
absolutely.
Exactly, and our choices and our everyday choices.
Yeah.
So again, be conscious,
absolutely.
be aware.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's so funny. I have to go back to the other day. I was watching Real Housewives, and you were there. And I mean, I get really into it, and now I know it's because I'm conscious. I'm aware of the fact that this is affecting my emotions some sort of way, you know, and like I'm in the moment, and I'm also saying like, y'all are stupid, like you guys are fighting about nothing
and
right
I can
now,
hear him.
about nothing.
I'm upstairs, okay? And I can hear him downstairs yelling. Like, who are you yelling at? Why are you getting your emotions so caught up in this TV
it's
show?
True. And I know this is happening, and I mean for me. I actually find it visually appealing. Like I love seeing, you know, like these. For half an hour, I'm transported to this, you know, this other sort of really cool place. So I enjoy that aspect. But that's the thing. Like you get so caught up in what you're watching, and that's why, you know, it's so important to be conscious of everything that you're viewing, you know, reading, listening to, and how it affects you. And so, I guess. You know, moving forward, my first suggestion for you guys is to really kind of make a note of the things that you're viewing on a regular basis. Like, what kind of television are you watching? You know, what kind of content are you reading? And really kind of be more critical of what you're viewing.
Exactly.
And how that is affecting you in your day-to-day, because you would be surprised at what that's doing to you as a person and how that's affecting your perception of the world, of yourself.
Also, digging and also remembering that there is, digging is not the right word, but also remembering, that there's a bigger picture. You know, you can read something and take whatever, you know, applies to you, but also remember that there is a bigger picture and there is more, there's always more to a story.
Absolutely.
Always. So don't take things at face value is really important, because if you're taking everything that you read and see at face value,
you're bound for trouble.
I feel
You're
sorry
bound
for
for trouble. And we've been there. So, you know, it's not just you guys, like we've been there too. So we know what that's all about. Question everything, you know, question everything. That's like the third thing. Question everything that you're reading, that you're seeing on television, and create a dialogue, you know. A fourth thing would be to create dialogue surrounding, you know, the content that you're viewing or listening to, because odds are, you know, through that you're going to learn things that you didn't know, and it's great to kind of get a conversation going about, you know, what we're viewing, what we're exposed to within the media.
And don't be afraid to speak your mind when certain topics come up, you know, and if you feel a certain way about a certain topic that has become popular on Twitter, on Facebook.
Is the best thing.
Exactly, and you'll be dumbfounded by the fact that there are a lot of people who feel the same way about certain situations and stories that are out there right now.
And that's a step towards enlightenment. So, I mean, yeah, pay attention, be aware, be conscious, be conscious. So, you guys know the drill. In the comments below, we want you to share, you know, something that you've taken away from this, you know, this conversation that we've had going, and just let us know how you're going to apply some of the things that we've offered, some of the steps that we've offered to become more conscious in terms of, you know, the things that you're viewing on television, on the internet, the things that you're reading, the music that you're listening to, and maybe even share a story with us. Also, head over to the Facebook page. And like the Facebook page if you haven't already, because Adeline and I post some really cool articles. We'll share stuff from other, blogs and websites, and we like to share quotes, and it's always just a great way to kind of start your day with something inspirational, so check that out. We've got our Twitter as well, and of course our YouTube channel, so check all of that out, and we hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday, and we hope you start off your week more conscious and energetic. Woo woo! Love, peace, and hair grease.
Thank you.
Peace.
All the friendly stars.
Need a new nose?
I do need a new nose.
Need a little junk in your trunk?
Hell yeah.
Call 1-800-DOCTOR-FIX-MY-ISH right now, and we'll fix your ish.
Hello? Dr. Fix My Ish? I think I need a new booty.
Don't get mad, read what? Why is Mama Joyce is tripping? Why is she tripping? Why is she all up in her business? Ain't nobody got time for that. She need to get out of her business. It's her man. It's her man. And you're trying to fight her friends too. Ratchet. Stupid Mama Joyce. I can't watch this shit no more. Can't watch this no more. Ah! Oh my gosh.
What?
This magazine says stripes are out. I'm gonna have to go change my shirt. Excuse me. I'll be right back, girl. Stripes are out. Stripes are out.
Stripes are out.
Stripes are out.